Hello and welcome, world, to another edition of the Jesse T Show. Today, however, we know where he is, but we can't tell you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's Jesse T!
I know where I'm at. You know where you're at. The problem is I want to be where you're at, and you want to be where I'm at. So we want to be at together. Yes. I am back. I'm back. Praise the Lord. Praise Jesus. I feel like I've been touched by the hand of God. Yes, God does speak to me every day of my life. The problem is I can't decipher it. I need the translation. It doesn't work too well. It doesn't work too well for me, But, I feel good. I'm back. I'm intact. The Brown Beauty is back on duty. Hey, that's right. We're on the air and everywhere. From the community to the world, it's the Jesse T Show Friday right here. Live at 5 o'clock. We're live at 5. You are entering the world according to Torero. We're live streaming. We're Instagram living. That's right. I can't see a darn thing, though. I didn't bring my big, giant magnifying glass. Yes, right. No, this is my camera. You can't have it. Lee's already bugging me here in the studio. I'm back, and he won't let me alone. It's like Mama T. He won't even let me have a Coca-Cola that's in the refrigerator, but that's okay with me. Hey, it's good to have you back with us. We love Fridays in Southern California on the Pacific Coast. The weather is going crazy across America, but right here, it's looking good, feeling good, and tasting good. But the big weather storm is supposed to be coming in here. Big weather, rain, and snowstorm going to last like 36 hours straight. We're going to get rain where we never thought rain was before. We're going to get snow where we never thought snow could be. It's going to be there. So that means like maybe Pacoima is going to get some snow. I like that. I mean, that would be cool, right? Yeah, I dig that a lot. Hey. All right, now, I got some important stuff to talk about. All right. Facebook.com/Jesse Torero. That's where we're at live right now for our Instagram folks and our YouTube live folks at The Power of Voices. Also, www.thepowerofvoices.com and www.aventertainmentlive.com. Man, I really like being in the studio. It sounds so good. Yeah, I feel like I feel like I'm back at home, and good to have you along with us today. As you enter my world, you're going to get straight on the spot. Instagram live at Jesse Torero and 424-227-9461. Give us a call if you'd like to. Saying hi to Maria Aramani. They say they can't hear me. They can't hear you on Facebook here, my friends. They say they can't hear me. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to unplug it, right? No. Can they hear me there?
If they push on the video,
no. Okay, you got to push on the video. Also saying hello to Stars_Media Productions and joined, and It's Jers joined. Boy, I can't even see that. I'm getting glasses. I had a glass appointment today, and I didn't go to it. I just couldn't get there. I tried to. Hey, we've got a good show lined up today because we're bringing in one of Los Angeles' very best and absolutely terrific artists. The guy is so terrific, and we're going to talk with him right here in about 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring it together for Ruben Soto. What's happening, Ruben?
Hey, Jesse, how are you?
See, he's really cool, man.
Glad to be here. To see you.
The last time we got together, Dan the Man and I met you out underneath Sunset Boulevard. Now, folks, we weren't like messing around in the sewers of Sunset. No, we were underneath that bridge that goes over near Echo Park. That bridge that goes over Glendale Avenue, right where Glendale and Alvarado split. K-Day used to be right up there on top. Actually, the studio's still there. And we met over there for a specific reason, folks, because Ruben is one of LA's finest muralists. Now, if you don't know what a muralist is, it's somebody who paints not on canvas. It's somebody who paints on walls or brick walls or some sort of plaster walls. It's a mural, and it has a story to it. Murals have a beginning and a middle and an end, and they say something very impressionistic. And I remember back in the 1980s when the Olympics were here, and the Olympics had lots of murals everywhere. In fact, we were all youngsters then, but Ruben Soto, if he was of the right age at the time, he would have been one of the guys they would pick. Your mural there under Sunset Boulevard overpass right there as it goes over Glendale Avenue is fantastic, man. Fantastic. Folks, if you've never seen this mural, you got to go by and just see a taste of his work. It is absolutely beautiful. Unfortunately, it's being blocked now by a bunch of homeless people. I got so upset when I went by there last time. But it is beautiful what you did there with the passing of one of the star's sons, and you and your daughter, and the pastor and his wife from the church right around the corner, and the other muralist gentleman at the far end, and then all the things that you put on top. How did you get inspired to do that, Ruben?
To do the ice mural?
Yeah.
You know, my mom used to work along the bridge right there, and it was full of graffiti.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to do something clean, something nice. There you can walk through there and feel good about it, and look at the walls, look at the art, and all that stuff. And that's what I did. So I got inspired just by seeing an empty spot right there.
Had you done
Graffiti.
that kind of large scale mural painting up to that point?
No, well, I started in the '84, the Olympics,
Yeah.
and then I started from across the lake,
Right.
the stairs.
Oh,
the
really?
runners. Yeah. So that was my first one.
I didn't know
I
that.
ever tried to do a mural, but I did, and that was the first one. After that, I got hooked up on just want to do some good work.
Was this something
So-
that you went to school for, or were you like a street artist? Or kind of home taught?
I didn't go to school, but I learned by the best. You know, sometimes they tell you gotta meet up with the right people and all that stuff. Well, it was Ken Twitchell, who I admire his work, and I was a little kid and I used to see him painting on Broadway the
Right.
Victor's Clothing, and I saw him when I was little, and then it came to that time where I go, I need to meet this guy or whatever, and I went and met him, and took me under his wing and started showing me, and I started stealing his
Right.
style type of thing.
Right.
So
right,
I
right,
was
right.
able to do the ice mural because of that.
Yeah, and you
and-
call it the eyes mural. And
Yeah.
and folks, the reason why you call it the eyes mural is because when you go there, and I guess you got to go there very late at night. You got to be very careful. But if you can stand in the middle of the street when the traffic isn't going by there a million miles an hour, and the homeless people weren't barracked up against these right now, if you could stand there and you could look at the eyes, because the mural is on both sides of the underpass, of the tunnel, and you have one of the star's eyes looking at his son's eyes.
Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone,
And
right?
looking at his son, Sage.
Yeah, the eyes, but it's the eyes, and then you have you and your daughter, Star, right? Storm. You and your daughter.
Tormenta.
Yeah, Tormenta. Right. Okay, you've got you and your daughter and your eyes, and the pastor who's the first, the pastor,
Helms,
and he was the pastor of that of the-
Angela's Temple, right around the corner.
for years.
many years.
Yeah, and there's an interesting story there behind how you got involved there, and that alludes to something that you're doing.
Exactly. It's
Yeah,
how it
exactly,
gets
and
connected.
we're going to get into that
Yeah.
because that's a very spiritual kind of thing that you're doing right
It
now.
is.
But you got to stand in the middle of the street. Be careful if you do, and when the homeless aren't there, and look at those eyes. You get a kinetic energy. It's an energy that when we first met, we went and did that, and it kind of makes your goosebumps bump.
You know,
a
that
little bit.
was the first time I met you, and once I saw what we did, the interview that you did on me, it was kind of touchy. It was kind of unique and different. You
Right.
know? So I appreciate that.
I appreciate you giving us the time that night because because that was really something. And every time I've gone by there now, because I worked up at K-Day there for 10 years
Right.
between 83 and 91, just about when they shut off. They went dark. And I remember that tunnel, and I remember when all of a sudden those murals were there. It's like one day they weren't, and one day they are, right?
Right,
How
right.
long did it take you to do that?
It used to take me like probably 3 months each phase, but then I got better and better. It all depends on the energy type of thing. And so this last time when I painted one of the faces was Sage Stallone.
Right.
Uh, it took me like 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
that's like 25 feet long by 9 feet high.
How
the
do you
face.
how do you get that emotion in the eyes? How did it? I know that's a trade secret for you. That's something, but it comes from you inside, doesn't it?
It does, and I can see the right through the color of the eyes, the person, and all that stuff. And that when I saw Sage, he came over my house, and I saw him. I saw red eyes.
Yeah, you were buddies with him for a
Yeah,
long time.
yeah, we were.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was red eyes what I saw. So when this happened to him, he passed away. I remember the eyes. So I wanted to paint him with those red eyes that I saw.
Folks, you got to get out there and you got to look at this, because this is Ruben is in all estimation. He's an A-lister artist. I mean, you really are good at what you do.
Detail. Yeah.
To paint oversize like that, yet still have the human quality of realness, that it looks like a real person. I mean, I get up there, I paint something, it looks like Mr. Magoo on heroin. or Jesse
Yeah, right,
Terrero with
okay.
half his blood. That one hits you, right? With the big glass. I mean, everything's out of proportion. I can't get hands and feet together, let alone nose and mouth. I mean, I don't know how you do that. So now you go on from there, and you get a lot of inspiration going to the church right there that faces Echo Park, that Angelus Church, right?
Yeah,
And
I had an incident with one time. This
Right.
was like when I was 16, and I had was walking through the parking lot, and I had assaulted a man and stole his car. And when I got inside the car, I put some tapes on, and it was Christian music. And then I find out that he was a teacher for Life Bible College. And at that time, when that happened to me with what I did, my mom was worried, and because they had mentioned it in the church, somebody got assaulted and all this stuff, and the whole church was praying for me, for not for me, but for the guy that beat up
and they didn't even know who the guy was.
They didn't know who it was.
And it was you.
It was me.
Oh,
but
boy.
then when I got in the car, I noticed it was Christian music. I go, man, I hit a man of God type of thing. And then I felt bad about it. Right after that, I went through a lot of things, getting shot, in Echo Park and all that stuff.
You didn't get shot just once.
5 bullets went through my body.
Yeah.
5 bullets. I still have a bullet in my arm. I can feel the cold, kind of thing.
Right.
And one of the bullets that hit me underneath my chest, my arm,
Wow.
and it came out in my chest. And the bullet was the heart was beating
Wow.
when the bullet went through, and it came out in my chest, and the rest, they went through 5 bullets. So
5.
yeah. So with this man this incident that happened, the whole church was praying for those people. And I so happened that I started going to church, and I was crossing the street, and I see the man that I stole the car from. And I went the other way, but at the same time, I felt guilty. I go, here I am going to church and not facing this man. So I decided to go and talk to the man. And when I did, I went up to him. I knocked at his office and all this stuff, and he was sitting in front of his desk, and I was sitting right there, and I kind of looked at him, and he looked at me, and he goes, how can I help you? This was years after
Right.
that happened. And when he said, well, how can I help you? I told him, I kind of just told him that I was the guy that stole the car from him and took his car. And it was...
So you did testimony right
He
there.
got
man.
up. Yeah. I didn't know what was going to happen, but he got up, very emotional, hugged me,
Wow.
and said, I have been praying for you since then. So it was a very touchy thing for me to do that, and for him to just, you know, take
accept
me in.
your
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
forgiveness,
yeah.
the forgiveness of it all, and the tribulations you went through at that time and after.
From that, Pastor Helms heard about the testimony.
Right.
He invited me to go tell my story in front of the whole church
In front of the whole church.
with
Wow.
him there. The Ralph Hammond was
Mm-hmm.
his name, and so the whole church, I guess what they were praying for, it was that guy that was out of control,
And that was
me.
you.
That was
And
me.
didn't even know it.
Right.
Isn't it just the craziest thing how things work out?
Yeah.
How that energy, how that God, how it puts you in the spot where you really don't want to be, and you had to face what you did, and yet they faced it with you together and faced it with you probably with love and compassion and empathy and tried to help
They
you.
took me in, and so there I began a relationship with Pastor Helms, and I started getting creative. I guess it was always in me of art and movies
Oh,
and
sure,
things like
yeah.
that. And one of the influence that was on me, it was, Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, the movies, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah.
I decided to, get into writing a story, a script. After being turned down by big
Yeah.
actors and
Right.
producers and all that stuff, I got turned down. But I said, if I can be part of what they're doing, I'll do my own thing.
Yeah, that's the best
So
way, right?
I started doing a play, Smile Now, Cry Later, and I started just with the church people, and a lot of people would show up. 3,000 people will come and see it, and I would show it every year just for a weekend, and it started getting bigger.
You had
and
a good
bigger.
run with that. It was there for a long
Yeah,
time.
82 to 89, showing it every year, and 2002 was the last time, and I go,
And that's the story about kind of what you went through and more right now.
growing up in Echo Park and growing up
Yeah.
at 16 and all that stuff,
Yeah.
I was hanging out with the older
Yeah.
crowd.
White fence and all that.
all
Yeah.
18th Street or Echo
Yeah.
Park, all
Oh,
that
sure.
stuff.
Sure.
And I started seeing a lot of crimes that they were committing.
Yeah.
And I was just a kid. I ended up in jail and all that stuff. But I started writing little by little of what I saw. And now the script that I have, Smile Now, Cry Later, is really relating to that, all that madness that I
Yeah,
saw
especially at
growing
that
up.
time, because we're about the same age.
Yeah, right.
And the '70s in Echo Park had kind of really gone down. A lot of gangsters, a lot of graffiti, a lot of crime, a lot of trash, a lot of stuff was happening, especially through the '80s. It really declined. Of course, it's much different now with all the reurbanization and the houses being redone. They cleaned up Echo Park itself tremendously, and the surrounding area is now becoming more affluent as a
Yeah.
suburb of downtown Los Angeles,
Right.
especially for the Chinese that are coming in over from Chinatown that direction. But the Echo Park we're talking about, folks, is an Echo Park that is much different than what it is
Way
today.
different.
But I remember. I mean, when I got hired up there at K-Day in '83, my first all night shift, someone got shot in the driveway, and I come out in the morning, and the coroner's truck is there. I had no idea what was going on,
It's a
just
lot of
150
shootings.
feet away. So the Echo Park that you are referring to, that's the Echo Park, folks, that Ruben's talking about. I mean, it was a hardcore life for kids growing up there. So and those influenced like you down the wrong path. But it's funny how something that you did that wasn't good led to something that you're doing now in your life, and the mural and all the painting that you've done, that's something great to be able to tell your story. Now, you had a couple of movies. You just finished a movie last year.
We were working on
Yeah,
it.
you were
Came
working
out,
on it,
yeah.
and I don't know where that is.
It's
Willoughby.
It's Willoughby.
Right.
And it's supposed to be a spaceship landing in Los
Right,
Angeles.
right.
So, and it lands right there in Echo Park,
Right.
right by where the murals are. And so that's a screening that we're going to be having, and you're in it also.
Oh, I
Jesse.
appreciate that.
So they're just working on the last details of the spaceship type of thing and all that. And then
Well, you got to
we're
let
gonna
us
have the
know about
screening.
that. We'll do
Yeah,
the
we're
red
gonna have
carpet
the
and everything
screening.
and the screening.
So
and
I
premiere.
think I feel good about being alive.
And you directed that.
Yes, sir.
And he also acted in it too. But he was direct. It was great seeing you out there the day I was out there watching you direct all those cats, man. How is directing in relationship to painting a mural? Are they kind of the same thing?
You know, one of the reasons I started painting murals also because I can paint them real big, but then I can look at them and I go, man, I wish they can move. So that's where the movie thing comes in and all that stuff, and it gives you that feeling of being in control and doing your creative type of thing.
Right.
And so the murals are the murals, and then the movies are, part of kind of like they go along.
Right.
You feel good about it that you're being creative, and you can give a message. You can tell a story. You can make people cry. You can make change the people's minds type of thing.
And the thing about it is that growing up in Los Angeles like you did, I was born in Chicago. We came here when I was 1, so I'm basically a Los Angelino too. Right. And it's terrific now that in this next film that you've written, in our lifetime, demographically and racially and ethnically, that LA has changed so much in our lifetimes that you can give a point of view from, just a vato growing up in Echo Park. I grew up in Pacoima, you know what I'm saying? And from that point of view, that's really cool to be able to do that. And did that influence you at all in terms of your point of view of how you wrote this script from a Latino or Hispanic kind of point of view?
What I felt in growing up in that environment with gangs, and then being a mature person now and keep pulling myself away from all that, it just makes me feel that we young people, the gangs and all that stuff, they're just mentally sucked into that kind of environment. Right. And so Smile Now, Cry Later, it's a whole different, that's what it's about, really growing up with that kind of life. But then the guy, the main character, pulls away and sees that he's being deceived, he's being lied to. And that's pretty much by an older guy,
right?
A gang member type of thing. But then he's going to turn his life around. You can see the transformation in turning his life around. One of the main characters in Smile Now, Cry Later, but it's written in a way where I get influenced also by Quentin Tarantino, right?
You're right.
Yeah, so
right.
I wrote it so it can be almost part 2. Or you can follow something like that, But it's a very, very touchy story. When I showed it in Angeles Temple, I mean, bro, you can feel the Holy Spirit. You can feel God. You can see tears on people's faces, and you can feel the presence of God. So now to try to make it into a movie, that's going to be a challenge.
That's exciting, though.
And it's exciting also, But it's going to be a very touchy story, where people are going to get touched by it, and people can turn around and do something different from the play that I showed. I have run into people, they saw the play back then, and they right away look at me and they say, "Thank you so much," because you've seen
the difference
right
over the 5, 6, 7 years that you put it on, how it did touch people's lives, how art and how a story can change somebody's whole understanding and outlook of a situation that they may be in.
Right.
And that's the kind of stuff that needs to be written today, because we have so many what I call cartoon movies, Marvel with the big green screens that are the size of football fields now. And they have all these fast-cutting, loud music, massive explosion cartoon movies. But the movies that have substance and tell a story.
I kind of miss those movies.
I miss those. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But so Smile Now, Cry Later has that story of just following the characters and all that stuff, and how bad it can be being a gang member. I mean,
one of the fellas in Colors. Remember Colors way back when?
Yeah.
His name was Cy Richardson. He played one of the detectives. He also played. He's an actor. He also played in Repo Man. Remember the original Repo Man?
Right.
Not Operation Repo,
Right.
but the original he played the Repo Man that had the gun. That's Cy Richardson, and when he got the role in Colors to play one of the detectives alongside Duvall and Sean Penn as a third detective. We were talking. I remember that well. Of course, the music that came out of there. But the one thing about that versus any of the other stories of the early '80s is that actually had a story, beginning, a middle, and end, and you got sucked into it. Even if you weren't part of that lifestyle, or even if you were, it was real enough that it was believable, and the things that happened in that movie. And movies like that need to be made again, because I think our society, especially the youngsters, the millennials, they don't have an understanding of what it was anymore. And they need to know that story. Because if you don't know where you come from, then how do you know how to be and where you're going?
Right.
And stories like this tell that. Did it take you a long time to write this? Or did it just come together?
I wrote it, and then I changed it, and then it has taken me a long time.
What's the difference between presenting a script on stage, a theatrical script, and a film script? Is there a big difference, Ruben?
Yeah, it is. To me, it is. Because here I am writing for something on stage, learning really how to work the stage and all that stuff, and then that prepared me for Smile Now Cry, for Willoughby. That prepared me for Willoughby.
Right.
So here I am doing Willoughby on my own and all that stuff, out of my pocket and all that stuff,
Right.
and now Willoughby's, I'm still adding little things here and there, and it's done. So Willoughby now prepares me for Smile Now Cry Later, where I can do an excellent job with the actors, with the whole thing, the lighting, the cameras, all that stuff, which is fun.
So when do you think that that's going to go into production?
I'm already want to cast a few people to shoot the first scene, kind of like a trailer type of thing,
Hey, I just want a job on the cafeteria truck.
Exactly.
I'll sell the hot dogs and tacos.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here you can see it, the logo. Smile Now Cry Later.
So you're already sort of kind of in pre-production, pre-marketing.
It's being on the work, so here's the first cup.
I like that.
And then the script.
Show that right there on that camera there.
The
Smile
script,
Now, Cry
Smile
Later.
Now, Cry Later. Yeah, so it's being on the work. So here I have cups, rings, earrings,
Right.
whatever, just T-shirts,
Right.
different things,
Right.
accessories, right?
Accessories, right.
Yeah, to promote the movie and all that stuff.
Who do
Smile
you
Now, Cry
see as the main actors? If you had your pick of the litter, if you had your pick of the A-listers at CAA and WME.
I think all the actors that I would like to have picked for Smile Now, Cry Later, for gang members and all that stuff, they're already old on a cane.
Yeah, right.
So I got to find new ones.
You got to find new ones.
Find new actors and all that stuff. And
Right.
because they start when they're little to, middle
Right.
age and then old in the movie.
Yeah. So there was a time progression.
Yeah.
Really?
In the movie.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I will have to find new people, but I'm sure once I start casting the right people, because I'm the one always behind it in casting. So
Are you going to act in the movie yourself?
I'm one of the old ones.
You're one of the old
I'm gonna
guys.
direct. I'm gonna direct it. I want to make
Right.
sure it's right. And,
Right.
done well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna direct it, and I'm just gonna put all my energy and what I have learned into it to direct a good movie.
Right.
But that's it's taking all this time, but that's what it is when it's something valuable and touchy and powerful.
Did you find at times when you were writing the script, and a lot of people listening to the show at thepowervoices.com and AVTV Live, www.avtvlive.com, and of course on YouTube Live and Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero /The Power Voices, our Instagram Live. A lot of people listening and watching like to know the process, because there's a lot of folks out there that living in Nebraska, that don't know what's going on. If you live in New York or you live in Miami or you live in Los Angeles, you kind of understand the thing about making movies and stuff like that. And see, somebody's calling me already. Is that you or me? Is that me? Okay, let's see who I got to yell at. Okay. All right. Hey, Alatino, I'm on the air. Would you get off the phone and leave me alone? Okay? Hey, I'm on the air. Would you just get off the phone and leave me alone? No. Bye. You see it live right there. Altino, he's a good guy. But with the process, was it heart-wrenching for you to put the words of what your experience was? Did you go through some tough times finding that emotion? I mean, it's almost biographical in a lot of ways. So that had to hit home with you a few times, did it?
It did. A lot of things I think it was always there. I just had to put everything in order to make it happen. So now I feel, excited because now I have a whole big script, and here a lot of people dream about making a movie,
There it is.
and here I am trying and doing it. So I can do my best just to put everything that I learn and make it happen. But it's not easy,
Right.
and nobody's gonna, give you the money and here you go, no. So I gotta make myself just make things happen, right?
Are you still painting?
I'm still painting also.
Yeah,
I'm still working my electrical work and all that stuff. But yeah, I got hired to do a painting in the Glendale College.
At Glendale College?
Yeah, at Glendale College. So that's something that I gotta shift myself in so many different ways there, but I make it happen, and it's all fun.
Hey, with us today on the Jesse T Show, muralist and director, writer, producer, Ruben Soto, and it's great murals all around Los Angeles, and he's got the new movie Smile Now, Cry Later coming out, so look for that coming up here. Where can they find out some information about some of the things that you're offering right now, mugs and things, and keychains and T-shirts and stuff like that?
I'm still working on it, so I'm gonna have like a shop, website shop type of thing.
Okay, well, you can get in touch with us right now.
and
We'll
then
parlay
through
it out.
you,
We'll
my
parlay it
Facebook,
out.
yeah.
Absolutely. What's your Facebook site?
Just Ruben Soto.
Okay, Ruben
And
Soto.
My profile picture is Will Be the movie.
Yeah, with the guy out in the middle of the street.
Right.
That was crazy, man.
Yeah.
Hey, is the fog working? Is the fog working? I remember that.
It was raining and pouring that day, but show must go on, right?
Yeah,
So
it was.
Thank you for being there.
Oh no, that was a lot of fun,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So where you been and where you come to, this must be an exciting journey.
Yeah, I guess the year's just starting right now, so I'm glad to be here talking about it with you, especially with you.
Oh, I appreciate
Nice
that.
to
man.
have you back, and it must be a reason why we're talking, because I remember Smile Now Cry Later back then when you were in the radio station,
Right.
and I used to go drop off some flyers at the station,
Yeah.
and hey, please help me out and try to promote the
Right.
the play. But now here I am with you.
Isn't
now
that the
still.
crazy
I'm
thing?
still here with.
You're
now
growing
I'm
up in
being
Echo
interviewed
Park.
by you and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
it's a good feeling for me,
Right.
Because I go way back.
It's
and-
like 360, isn't it?
yeah,
Totally back around to the beginning.
yeah.
It's weird how that is. Something that you were doing at a young age that transformed your life, but yet has stayed with you through your whole life. I think that things that come from creative people and people who have artistry in them,
Mhm.
I've come to believe that these types of influences are with them from birth, are with them from early on life through their whole life. You probably were a gifted artist when you were a kid. Did you do a lot of drawing? Did you do a lot of? Did you write music? Did you?
I think I always wanted to get into music and writing, composing songs and things like that. And
So we see you as a composer for this song, the movie too.
I already have it in mind what's gonna go there. Yeah, the type of music,
Right.
But it's just incredible the way things happen, and I kind of got lost of what you were asking me right now.
Well, in terms of this passion you've had from youth on for art, for people of creative process, they seem to always have these passions.
I always like to draw. I always, and what threw me off from all that is the my parents not being together, my
Right.
parents breaking up type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
growing up in a bad environment, and that kind of just threw me off. But I always had that in me.
Right.
So when I got my mind clear and all that stuff, and yeah, I started getting creative, and I guess it's meant to be where you're gonna do something, and I feel it. So that's why I'm here with you and all that stuff. So
When we got together the first time, it blew my mind how many people responded to our show. I mean, it's got to be close to or over 4,000
4,000.
4,000 shares in a very short period of time. That is unbelievable. That's how many people are interested in what you're doing. When you talk with people about your project, are they moved by it in such
Yeah,
a
and I
way?
think what it is seeing or hearing a story of this kid that just could have ended up dead,
Mm-hmm.
paralyzed, or in jail, and to see someone like that turn around, it's just like, wow, it must be some hope for some other people. They're in the same type of boat, or probably even worse, or whatever.
Well, getting shot 5 times is you can't get much worse than that. And to be healthy and fit and not be a paraplegic or not have your spine cord snapped by a bullet
Blessed.
or something. I mean, you were blessed.
I think God had a purpose, right? So
Yeah.
I'm trying to just listen to that feeling and that energy type of thing where I know I'm moving forward with things. Because
Do you feel like this is like you putting back into what you've gotten out in life?
when I got shot, one of the feelings that I got, I mean, I was going in and out of consciousness, and so when I will just pass out, and I still think about it right now, I go, how incredible that is that I was able to like pass out and wake up and I'm somewhere else type of thing. And then, but all that feelings and all that stuff that I was having through that moment, I saw my past, my present, my future, man. So I'm trying to follow all that with all this. So I have a good feeling of people and things, and I just feel the energy of God. So I want to just continue with this, and when I see people getting touched by a story, whatever I'm doing, I being touched. I
Right.
feel good about it. And I know they like to see something like that. I always like to see successful stories, type of things.
It
Somebody
sounds like it's a
making
real
it.
personal
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. It is very personal. I so get deep into my paintings, and I name them, and they mean something. So with the story, with Smile Now, Cry Later, it's very personal.
How did you come up with that name?
That name, Smile Now, Cry Later, that's I was going through a time where I was crying and laughing or whatever, having fun. So Smile Now, Cry Later, it came to my mind. But then that's a logo that they use in jail a lot.
Oh,
Sonríe ahora, llora
yeah,
después.
yeah,
And they use them in tattoos and things like that. Smile Now, Cry Later. But then also, it's a theatrical
yeah.
faces for the theater and all that stuff.
Well, it's got such a dynamic difference. Smile now and cry
Cry
later.
Later.
It's really meaningful. My mother passed away from Lou Gehrig's disease in 94. And when my father met me at the door on my 33rd birthday, that's when she was diagnosed. My father met me at the door, and he never answered the door. My father never answered the phone. He never answered the front door. That's just the way he was. And he answered the door, and the front door was locked. And the front door was never locked when my folks were home. And I just went over there, and my dad opens the door, and he looks at me and he says, "Your mother's going to die in 6 months. But before you, and bang, of course, the emotion hits you if you're close with your family, and he said, before you cross this threshold, we will never cry in front of your mother. We will never cry. She needs our strength now. We can cry and smile the rest of our lives. Your mom needs our strength now." And so,
Let's smile.
smile now,
Yeah.
cry later.
We'll cry
I mean,
later.
I can relate to that in some way personally, just by that passage right there. And I would imagine your script is filled full of this type of teaching. because it's teaching that we don't get anymore as we're growing up. Was that something that you just happened naturally when you were writing it in terms of this script, these types of things that you're probably going to talk about?
Is the pain that I was going through,
Yeah.
seeing my parents breaking up,
Right.
the life that I was living as a kid,
Yeah.
instead of having the parents and that support to go to school, get educated, all that was not there. So I started getting into
Right.
hanging out with the wrong crowd, gangs, that kind of life. I mean, you walk out the door, all you see is gang members around the corner. So the pressure and all that of older gang members type of thing took me in, kind of, It took me some hard times to get out of that. Being shot didn't get me out of that. I still went on and continue, but it was that time where God just touched me.
Yeah.
And when God touches you, hey, it's time to change and turn around, because otherwise you're going to end up dead.
And it's not necessarily this voice that comes down and talks to you. It's oftentimes very subtle. When your God touches you in a spiritual kind of way, it's a very subtle way. But in the subtleness of it all, the massive change takes place because it starts as a seed. And that's the placement of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does.
And so with this movie being inclusive of that kind of stuff, this is a terrific idea that you have, and that you're producing it. We need to have storytelling like this again. There's a generation of young people in this country that do not understand the gifts that have been given to them, even in the worst situations, from those that have paid the price dearly before. I'm not going to get on this big monologue about this because I'm on it every day. But the point is, films, murals, those eyes, they all are very impressionistic. They cut to your soul. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Just like the story, it has all those elements there where it comes from experience. So a lot of the story has to do with my life, kind of thing, or the way I saw things, and um, it almost makes me cry. So when I'm writing, I gotta feel it, and I experience all that. What's gonna be with this film. And it's a touchy situation type of thing.
Danny Trejo talks about, being incarcerated and becoming a boxing champion while he was in jail or in prison. And he became the prison's boxing champion, I think middleweight. And there goes that phone again. Huh. I'm going to turn this off. Watch what happens here now. See, this is another phone, guys, and people always call me when I'm on the air, and you know what I think it is? I think it's Lee's fault, and it's Lee's fault because you see he's got some power out there. He just wants to bug me.
Blame it on Lee.
You got to blame it on Lee, man. You got to blame it on somebody, right? But as I was saying, the people today, they don't understand the price has been paid for them. And films like this have that ability to do that, to kind of teach from another point of view. Sort of almost like a kung fu movie, where the wise old man teaches the young person who starts off on the wrong trail but then ends up doing the right thing. Those basic ideas in that storyline are real cool. How many characters do you have in the script? How many leads? You have a love interest in this?
Yeah, it has everything in it, but it's a lot of characters in this. I can't believe that I did this in a play, because just for the play it was like 30 characters,
Right.
30 people in it. But then the main ones, they're like 7 main characters, and it varies, different people and all that stuff. But it's a good, touchy, little, good story to it.
So where do you see yourself 10 months down the road?
Probably, probably, hopefully filming it.
Mhm.
I mean, we have a whole year ahead, so yeah, I wanna, like I told you, I wanna start filming the main, one of the main scenes, kind of like a trailer type of thing. And
Right.
I need the support of people, of
Right.
producers, and a lot of the main studios didn't want to touch it, or they don't want to touch it because why? Because it has that godly thing and all that stuff.
Yeah, that the
So,
spiritual, the
yeah,
faith-based
yeah.
films, but they are becoming more and more popular.
more people.
In fact, there's a faith-based film out now. It has a rather big budget with a big P&A budget afterwards to promote it. It's sort of, if it goes well, it'll break that line. It'll be the one that kind of crosses the line, because the faith-based films doesn't mean that you just, a preacher or pastor is up there, or a monk or whatever is up there preaching. A faith-based film tells a story that most people, they believe in something. Wouldn't you say they believe in some God that is important to them? So the faith of that is built into most people's lives. So what's the challenge? Everybody has some sort of faith. Even atheists
Right.
have faith.
Right.
They have faith in science. They have faith in their atheistic ideas. That in itself, in a lot of ways, is a spiritual movement.
Right.
So we're starting to see that trend, and I think you might be on the cutting edge of something like that. In that respect,
I have followed all the gang movies, gangster movies, all that stuff, and I haven't seen one like Smile Now, Cry Later. I haven't seen something that can touch someone and make them change stuff the way they're thinking about that kind of life.
so do you have a Kickstarter or an Indigio, I believe it is, or Indigio Kickstarter, and what's that other GoFundMe?
Oh, yeah.
Indiegogo, GoFundMe,
Right.
and Kickstarter. You got a campaign going on to raise funds?
No, I haven't. I heard about it. They have told me about it, but I haven't yet. I haven't done.
So if somebody wants to contribute towards the making of this film and invest in this film, how could they go about doing that right now?
Right now, I'm getting prepared for that.
Okay.
To start doing
Right.
things like that.
I would suggest, of course, it's your choice, but a Kickstarter campaign, a GoFundMe campaign, Indiegogo campaign. These are all areas that independent filmmakers,
Right.
independent producers can raise funds. In fact, one of my buddies, Frank Zanica, who raised a lot of money doing a offshoot of Star Trek called Star Trek Renegades.
Right.
He's on my website, the whole film. That was all a Kickstarter. And now he has a second Kickstarter that he completely funded. And we're talking, several $100,000 to $1 million. These are where these Kickstarter campaigns usually end up for films. And he does a great job. Another guy that I know, Sheets is his last name. He was a real estate developer in Chicago for a long time and gave that up. And now he's into a lot of those alternative spiritual things with pyramids and quartz and all that stuff, right?
You know what I would like to see is to people, the ones that would like. I mean, the people that I see trying to get involved with this, Quentin Tarantino,
Right.
Robert Rodriguez,
Yes.
those kind of people. They're kind of down their line of movies.
Yeah,
Anyway.
absolutely. I mean, that would be good
Yeah,
in
Mel
that respect.
Gibson, because it has a spiritual part of it.
Right.
People like that.
Mel
So,
Gibson,
yeah.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially he's hot right now too, with his Heartbreak Hill or Heartbreak Ridge.
Mhm.
It's up for a Golden Globe and
Oh.
Academy Award.
Right.
Scorsese is too. He's up for something too. So there's lots of avenues other than the regular studio picture,
Right.
which there's only 6 studios. And if it's not a cartoon film, they're not going to do it. If it's not Thor the Third or Iron Man 6, they're just not going to do it. Unless you have, Scorsese as a director, Pacino, De Niro, you got, Eastwood, everybody in it that's the A-lister of A-listers, Robert Downey Jr. and Brad Pitt and Bradley Cooper and blah, 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 right? Unless you have those, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. So
I think one of the things that pushes me is when I see those producers, all those people, and they say no, or for whatever reason, some other studios say no. That pushes me even more to just go ahead and.
Well, like you said, Rocky. I mean, Sylvester Stallone, Rocky. What was he turned down? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, and he finally, and it won the Academy Award. It set him. Rocky won.
One of the things about the script is Sage read the script before he passed away.
Right.
And he felt good about it. So me and him used to talk real late at night, and I know things are gonna go the way they're supposed to go.
Right. Well, good energy behind it, and that's important. Always to have that positive feeling behind that, and never giving up and never quitting. Right. That's really, how many doors do you have to knock on, and how many people do you?
I quit. I'm not going to do it no more.
and how many? You're right. And how many people are not going to like you because you knock on their door 17 times?
Right.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm knocking number 18. Okay. Sorry.
You're still here.
Yeah, I'm still here, man. I'm better than the milkman, and I don't make kids.
Yeah.
Because, the milkman used to come through when the old man was at work and they had a little fun time with mommy, right? Da, 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 da. And the kid came out looking like the milkman and mommy, right? That's the old joke. But yeah, that's right. right. Hey, buddy, I would have loved to have been a Helm's Bakery guy. Helm's Bakery truck, man, bring in some goodies. Well, I'm getting myself in trouble again, aren't I? I get myself in trouble every day, don't I? Lord help me. I don't know why that is. Okay, so we can contact you on Facebook, Ruben Soto.
Yeah, my phone number 213-393-4215.
Okay.
I know people are like, let me see, can you get that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Get that number here. Let me shine it over on mine too here, and we'll get it right here. So this is Smile Now, Cry Later, and get involved with this 213-393-4215. And this is going to be a great movie written by Ruben Soto, and he's going to direct in it. And I'm going to twist his arm because he's a good actor too. He's got to act. He's got to put himself in the role somewhere. Quentin Tarantino always puts his face in the picture somewhere. Okay, so you know Alfred Hitchcock like that, right? used to do it too. Yeah, always put his face in the mug somewhere, right? So heck, make a rubber mask and I'll be you. Just put me in the face somewhere, right? But check it out. Also, Willoughby is good. Look for Willoughby. We're going to be telling you all about this stuff. I support what this man's doing. He's got a great cause. He's got a great story. And this can change people's life. This is going to change one kid's life. I know it's going to.
Yeah.
And if you can save one life from something that you do, that one life might be the life that changes the world. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I mean, you don't know. And so Willoughby's going to be coming out. Look for the premiere. We're going to, hopefully if he decides to do a red carpet and all that, we'll be out there and we'll be hitting that hard. You got the new mural that you're going to be painting in Glen. When does that start?
I'm already working on the sketch.
Oh, really cool. What is it about? Can you give us a secret, or is this like a?
The main focus on that painting is Rudbe Washi from Channel 7.
Yes.
And then different things around her type of thing.
And it's going to be on the campus?
Yeah, it's going to be inside of one of the main buildings there.
So no homeless are going to be able to sleep up against that one.
Thank God. No. I got to do something about that.
Yeah, we got to get on that because that's too beautiful of a piece of artwork.
Mitch, what?
I know who you're talking about. Yeah. I know all those cats, man. We can go in and knock on their doors. I know them all.
Mitchell Farrell.
Mitchell Farrell, yeah, that's right.
His district. And
yeah, we need to go knock on that door and
Yeah, we
get
do.
something. Let's go knock on his door.
Yeah.
Okay? We're going to do that. I'll get through him through a couple other council people like Nori
Right.
Martinez or Mitch England or somebody like that too as well.
Right.
But we got to do something about that. But nevertheless, if you still get a chance, look past the homeless, go under the bridge there, Sunset and Glendale Avenue, and check it out as much as you can see right now. Or you can go on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Jesse Torero. We did several pieces, and I always repost the one, that interview we did, but I also got a lot of photos. Dan the Man, who, by the way, is in a brand new movie that's out right now.
Oh, yeah.
He plays a corner man, Dan the Man.
Oh,
Dan the Man plays a corner man from the 1930s in the Bronx
I
Bull.
think I saw a picture of him with the coat.
Can you believe that?
Yeah. He needs to wear more of those.
Yeah, well, he's Dan the Man. Dan the Man is just Dan the Man. But we got Willoughby, we got that, we got the Glendale. Go check that out. We got Smile Now, Cry Later. Get a hold of Ruben. Let's make this process happen. It's a great script.
I think so.
We covered it all.
Yeah, we did.
Pretty
Thank you.
good, huh?
Thank you, Jesse.
All right, now you can take me out to King
Thank you,
Taco.
Lee.
I want some King Tacos.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take you.
You really?
Yeah.
How come he'll take me, Lee, and you won't? What's wrong with you? God.
Cheap.
Hey, this is the Jesse T Show. It's a Friday in Southern California and across this great nation, live at 5 to 6, every Monday through Friday right here on Facebook.com/Jesse Torero, thepowerofvoices.com, YouTube Live, The Power of Voices, Facebook.com/The Power of Voices. Check out our friends at AV Entertainment Live and thepowerofvoices.com. On the air and everywhere. That's right, from the community to the world. Our special guest today, Ruben Soto, everybody. One of LA's and the very best muralist I've ever seen or known. The guy is phenomenal. Go check out his stuff that he's doing in Glendale College. Look for the movie Willoughby and Cry. Smile Now, Cry Later. Brand new project. And that one's going to change some people's lives. Contact us. We'll let you know. It's the Jesse T Show. Hey, have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Thanks a lot for everybody chiming in. The Brown Beauty is off duty. See ya. Bam!